Hey guys, I am José de Jesús with the National Pork Board. Today is National Grilling Day and I can't think of anything better to cook than pork. Today we're going to be roasting a pig in la caja china, one of my favorite ways to cook a pig. I grew up in Puerto Rico and trust me, this is going to be awesome. It's going to be full of flavor and it's going to be great. Thank you. Before I show you how to cook a pig in la caja china, let me tell you about the inspiration behind it. I was born and raised in Puerto Rico, and pork is king in Puerto Rico. I remember as a kid growing up, we would go visit family in the town of Barranquitas, which is up in the mountains, and every weekend we would be roasting a pig. It was part of our tradition. Our family enjoyed that experience, and it was something that I grew up with. I remember we would all take turns turning the pig around, and some of the adults would be playing dominoes, others would be tending to the pig, some of the cousins would be playing, others would be tending to the pig. We would all take turns. But it was an experience that I always enjoy and I always wanted to bring back with me when I moved to the mainland. Another reason I wanted to cook a pig today was when I was growing up in Puerto Rico, we would always go to this town called Guabate. And Guabate is in the central region of Puerto Rico. And there, once you get to that town, it's actually known as La Ruta del Lechón, or Pork's Highway. And there's many different shops, dozens and dozens of shops that are selling roasted pork. And so they have the whole pig being roasted, and then you can ask for, I want a pound or 2 pounds or whatever the case might be. And then with all the great sides, whether it was tostones, which is fried plantains, or sweet plantains, rice and beans, etc. So we did that as a family and friends growing up. And when I think about lechon or pork, I think about lechon asado. It's the way we grew up eating pork, right? Mainly roasted and as a pig roast. And so to us, it's a tradition. And for me, actually, is what inspired my Instagram account, Lechon Asado, was the fact that I was able to live those experiences with my family and friends for years. So when I moved to the mainland, I want to continue that tradition, which is why we tend to roast a lot of pigs over here where I live. And so, I always kept my grandfather's recipe, which was pretty simple, but always a crowd pleaser. And I hope to share that with you guys today. And you're able to do the same with your friends and families. All right, so today I'm going to show you how I cook my pigs. There's really not a wrong way to do it. I just like to take over my family's secrets over the years. My grandfather cooking pigs and pork, and my uncles and my cousins. So this is how we used to do it back in Puerto Rico. And I think what you'll find here is that it's pretty simple, but yet very tasty. So let's dig in. So the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to put a coat of olive oil on the pig, the entire pig, rub it really nice. I do that so all the rubs that come after that, they stick to the pig. So we'll start with that. Getting a nice little coat throughout the pig, everywhere. The hands right here. This is a smaller pig. This is about 17, 18 pound pig. So obviously not too big. But I like to do that with all the pigs, or every single one of them that I cook. Then we're gonna flip it quick. And we're gonna do the same thing again. Here we go. Get a nice little coat everywhere. And we're just gonna be ready to go. All right. That sounds good right there. All right, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna make the rub. Here we're gonna put half a cup of salt. We're gonna do 1/4 of ground pepper. We're gonna do 1/4 of a cup of fresh oregano. We're gonna do 1/4 of garlic salt. And my all-time favorite, this is the sun seasoning. We're gonna do about 1/8 right here. This thing is just magic right here. You can find it anywhere in the store. I don't think there's a family in Latin America, perhaps anywhere else, that can cook without. I know in Puerto Rico we cook a lot with that, whether you're making rice, whether you're making meat, or you're cooking anything along those lines. But that ingredient is always a must. Now what we're going to do is another magical ingredient, which is actual garlic. So what I have here is a head of garlic, and this is a mortar. This is very popular in Puerto Rico because we use this to make mofongo, which is fried smashed plantains, and is a very typical dish back home that we make. So we're going to start right here, and we're going to start smashing some of this. Like I said, I have about a head of garlic here, and we're going to smash it, and this is going to be one of the key ingredients to bring that flavor from the pig. Got a few more. So now I'm going to bring this smashed garlic into here where I had my rub made, my seasoning for the pig. And now I'm just going to mix everything here. And here, as I said, we have garlic, salt, pepper, salt, sazon, oregano, and now the garlic. So this is how it's going to look. All right. All right, so before I put the rub on the pig, what I like to do, and you don't have to do this, but this is the way I do my pigs, I cook my pigs, is I like to put some incisions around some of this muscles. So you have the fresh ham over here. I like to do in the shoulder, and I like to do that so I can get more flavor in there. When I'm cooking a piece of meat like this, sometimes they're a little big, and you want to make sure that you do that. Again, not a right or wrong way to do it. That's just the way I was taught. And I learned with my family. I know a lot of people also inject them to get that flavor throughout. That's also a good way to do it. But again, this is how I do mine. All right, so here we go. I'm going to start right here. I'm going to make some incisions right there. And if you see over here, what I like to do is when I get some of those around the pig, I'm going to start seasoning in there, okay, so that I can get that flavor going. I'm going to do some around here. I'm going to do the ham right here. I'm gonna do this other side right here as well. We'll do right here, and even some around here. Okay, we'll get some nice seasoning in there right around here. And that's normally what I try to do. If you want to do a couple more, feel free. This is probably a good area to do it right here. There's a lot of meat in here, so probably a good way to do it. Okay. All right. So now let's get this going. You see that nice color, that red and yellowish color from the sazon. That's what I'm looking for. Okay. Now, and the incisions that I made over here, I'm gonna stuff right there some seasoning. Okay, right here we have another one. Right here's another one. All right, and we're gonna do this on both sides, not just on top, on both sides. So here you see that nice color right here from the sazon. I love that color. Okay, I'm gonna get this ham over here. Here we go. Okay. All right, that's a nice little coat right here of our rub. Now we're gonna flip this baby up, and we're gonna do the same thing. I also like to put some cuts right here, incisions. Here we go. we're gonna do this. I always tell people that I rather over season than under season, particularly with a piece of meat this big. Here you go, almost there. Right here, we're gonna put another coat. Right here. And there you go. So there you have it. This is the way it's gonna go into la caja china, and we're about to get that done here. All right, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this pig and we're gonna take it to the caja china and begin the roasting process. And we're gonna put it skin down, because if we put it the other way around, it's gonna burn the skin. So we don't wanna burn the skin. What we wanna do is let it cook there. We're gonna put a probe here to make sure that when one of the hams hits about 190 or so, that's our cue that we can flip this pig around. Now we're gonna stick the probe in one of the ham right there, and then we're gonna set it around here, okay? I'm gonna close this. There's some hooks over here that we are going to do. It's gonna make it easier when we wanna flip it. There we go. And right here. Now, whenever we wanna flip it next time, it's gonna be ready to go. Now we're gonna put the lids on. We're gonna light some of this charcoal. I put maybe about 8-9 pounds or so of charcoal. This is not a big pig, so I wanna make sure that, you know, we go slow and we don't burn it. But what we're gonna do is spray some charcoal lighter. And you can I use briquettes on this. You can use lump charcoal. Lump charcoal burns a little bit hotter. And I like the ashes from the briquettes because it kind of serves as insulation as you're cooking the pig, so it doesn't burn towards the end of the process. And this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna let it sit there for a few minutes so it can soak in all the charcoal, and then we'll lit it up. It's going. Let's do the other batch. All right, then after about 20 minutes or so, when the charcoal is burning pretty good, that's when we're gonna start keeping track of the time, but we should have this pig done in about 3 hours or less. All right, so these briquettes are burning pretty good, and now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna spread them out so that basically the entire pig is getting heat underneath and it's burning evenly. So that's what we're gonna do. This is a small pig, so I didn't want to put a lot. All right, now we're going to start taking time, and we'll see how this goes. And as they keep burning, and we're gonna try to add about 5 or 6 pounds every hour. Okay, that's what we're gonna do, 5 or 6 pounds of charcoal every hour until we hit our magic number of 190 on the probe. All right, so it's been about an hour or so, and now we're gonna throw in some more charcoal. We're gonna spread them out. All right, so the probe says 190 or so, so we are gonna
flip this baby now. Take the probe off. Now we're gonna have to be careful how we split. There we have it. All right, so all these juices right here, you can use it to do anything you want with it, any side dishes, or even with the pig itself. So now what we're gonna do, we're gonna put the lid back on, put a little bit more charcoal, get that skin a little bit done, and then we're gonna toast it and have some nice crispy skin. Go ahead and put a little bit more charcoal. Not much, because I don't want to burn it, okay? It's just a little bit more. This is a little pig, so doesn't require too much charcoal. All right, so it's been about 20 minutes already. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna remove the ashes by lifting and shaking the charcoal grid. Just gotta be careful because it's really hot. Okay. Now the charcoal serves as a buffer so you don't burn the skin, but because now we're at that point where we're gonna toast the skin, we need to remove all this ashes. And it's pretty easy, just get a bucket like this. We took the ashes off, and now we are going to put the grid back. And now this is what gonna toast the skin. We're gonna add a little bit of charcoal, maybe a pound or two, and that's about it. This is a small pig, so that's all we're gonna do, and hopefully we get a nice crispy skin after the fact. Now we're gonna spread them out a little bit. And we're gonna do this for another 20 minutes or so, and then we're gonna check the skin. All right, so it's been about 20-25 minutes since we last added charcoal, so now we're gonna check to see if the pig is done. Oh yeah, looks really good. Oh yeah, look at that skin. Looks great. All right, so there you have it. This is the pig I wanted to cook today for you guys. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is I want to try a little bit of that crispy skin to see how that turned out. Look at that skin. Really good. All right, so now I'm just gonna cut this up quickly. It's a small little pig, right? So we don't really have to do too much, but I like to start right here on the ham. Look at this. This is what we call in Puerto Rico a pernil, right here. Okay, so we can chop it, but I'm just gonna keep it that way. Come right here as well. This is the shoulder. Look at that. We can chop that if we want to. Here you go. Some of the ribs right here. The other pernil or ham. And we can start cutting this down if you want to. You know, there's a bone right there. But this is right here, how you're served back home in Puerto Rico, okay? The other shoulder right here. In Puerto Rico, we eat everything. We eat the shoulder, we eat the shank, we eat the feet, everything. We don't We don't throw anything away. And if we get leftovers with this, we'll do some pulled pork sandwiches, pan con lechon. I mean, you can eat this with anything you want. You can do rice and beans, whatever your favorite side dish is. You can eat it. It can't go wrong. Pork pairs well with just about everything. Okay, there you go. And this is what I call lechon asado right here. It's nothing better than lechon asado, in my opinion. It's really hot. There you go. So there you have it. Well, thank you for watching. I'm José de Jesús with the National Pork Board. It's been a pleasure sharing with you my culture, my tradition, and how I grew up eating lechon or pork. And thank you so much. Please follow me on Lechon Asado on Instagram. Thank you.